Alright, continuing. Review Unit 1 test. We're going to do 7 through 11 in this section. So looking at 7, what two things must be true for two terms to be like terms? The first thing that must be true is they must have the same variables. The second thing that must be true, those same variables must have the same exponents. Okay, so if it's x squared y, okay, the other one must also have x squared y as its variables. So 5x squared y and 6x squared y would be like terms. Also note, even if they're flipped, it's still a like term. So 4y x squared would also be considered a like term with those other two. Alright, looking at problem number 8 here. This one is going to be a distributive property problem. The reason why is if you look inside the parentheses, they cannot be simplified first. 6x minus 10 is not simplifiable because they are not like terms as we just discussed. So we have to distribute the 1/2. 1/2 times 6x is going to be 3x, and then 1/2 times 10 is going to be 5. So 3x minus 5 is the answer. Looking at the next problem, number 9 here. On number 9, this one, we first must start out always by doing our distributive property here. Okay, so we have, notice, a -3 out in front, not just 3. So when we distribute this, we have to distribute -3. So -3 times 2k is going to be -6k. -3 times, we treat this like a -4, is going to be +12. Everything else drops down. And now that we've simplified everything as far as the distributive property is concerned, now we can look for those like terms. And those appear to be the only two like terms in this case. So 7k squared plus 5k squared will give me 12k squared. And everything else will just drop down. And since there are no other like terms, that is my simplified and final answer. Looking at problem 10 here. This one is a little bit more confusing. There's first of all no distributive property to take care of, so that has already been simplified. Now we need to look through these for like terms. 7x squared y, 4x squared y would both be like terms because both the x's are squared and the y's are not, so they have the same variables with the same exponents. And then of course we have 3xy squared and 1xy squared. So if we go ahead and add together our like terms here, we're going to add together the 7x squared y plus the 4x squared y, and we will get 11x squared y. And then if we add together 3xy squared and 1xy squared, we get 4xy squared. And that is my final answer. On number 11, last one here. This one actually seems to be the easiest one out of all three. Just simple adding like terms here. 3x and 4x are my only two like terms, so adding those together I get 7x, bring down the 6. So 7x plus 6 is my final answer there.